Manchester United will face Spanish outfit Real Betis in the last 16 of this season's Europa League. The draw was made shortly after 11 a.m. on Friday morning, just over 12 hours after United beat Barcelona 2-1 at Old Trafford in the second leg of their knockout round playoff tie. Second-half goals from Fred and Antony sealed a famous win for the Reds, securing a 4-3 triumph on aggregate. Their reward for beating Barcelona is a two-legged showdown with fellow Spaniards Betis. The first leg is poised to be staged at Old Trafford on Thursday, March 9, and the second will take place exactly a week later at the Estadio Benito Villamarín. Betis booked their place in the last 16 by winning their respective Europa League group earlier in the campaign. They topped Group C after winning 5 of their 6 matches. Elsewhere, Arsenal will lock horns with Portuguese side Sporting Lisbon, and Juventus, who also progressed from the knockout round alongside United, will face Germain's side SC Freiburg. Europa League specialists Sevilla will lock horns with Turkish outfit Fenerbahce. Get £40 in bonuses when you bet £10 with Betfred. Simply register with Betfred, place a £10 wager and you will receive £40 in bonuses. 18+, new UK customers only, TCs apply. 12:30 George Smith. That's a wrap. Thank you for tuning into our coverage for the last 16 of the Europa League draw today. We are now going to point you in the direction of our live coverage of Erik ten Hag's pre-Newcastle United press conference. 12:20 George Smith. United entering new territory. Next month's Europa League tie with Real Betis will mark United's first ever competitive meeting with the Spanish side. They did, however, face each other in a friendly in Spain in December during the World Cup break. Betis won 1-0, thanks to a 49th-minute winner from Nabil Fekir. 12:05 George Smith. A reminder of the draw in full. 11:50 George Smith. Don't be expecting goals in the last. -1611-45 George Smith. Full story. United to face Betis. United will lock horns with Spanish side Real Betis in the last 16 of the Europa League next month. The Reds will host the La Liga outfit at Old Trafford on Thursday, March 9, before travelling to Spain the following Thursday, March 16. Kickoff times will be confirmed in due course. 11:33 George Smith. Another Spanish assignment. United must be sick to the back teeth of travelling to Spain. After facing Real Sociedad in the group stages and Barcelona in the knockout round, they must now get past Real Betis in the last 16. The first leg will take place at Old Trafford on Thursday, March 9, and the return fixture in Spain will be staged on Thursday, March 16. 11:22 George Smith. last 16 draw in full. Union Berlin vs Union St. Gilloise. Sevilla vs Fenerbahce. Juventus vs SC Freiburg. Bayer Leverkusen vs Ferencváros. Sporting Lisbon vs Arsenal. Manchester United vs Real Betis. AS Roma vs Real Sociedad. Shakhtar Donetsk vs Feyenoord. 11:20 George Smith. tie 8 Shakhtar Donetsk vs Feyenoord. 11:20 George Smith. tie 7 AS Roma vs Real Sociedad. 11:19 Key event. tie 6 Manchester United vs Real Betis. 11:18 George Smith. tie 5 Sporting Lisbon vs Arsenal. 11:17 George Smith. tie 4 Bayer Leverkusen vs Ferencváros. 11:16 George Smith. tie 3 Juventus vs SC Freiburg. 11:15 George Smith. tie 2 Sevilla vs Fenerbahce. 11:14 George Smith. tie 1 Union Berlin vs Union St. Gilloise. 11:13 George Smith. Away we go. We're getting started, finally. 11-12 George Smith were edging closer head of UEFA club competitions. Tobias Hetstuck is now on stage running through the process of the draw. We should get started very, very soon. 11:09 George Smith Zoltan Jera on stage. Former Fulham man Zoltan Jera is now on stage. He is the Europa League final ambassador this year. 11:06 George Smith here as the draw master. UEFA Deputy General Secretary Giorgio Marchetti has arrived on stage and is now setting out the rules of the draw. We're only a few minutes away from getting started, hopefully. 11:02 George Smith Pedro Pinto hosting. Pedro Pinto is on stage and opening up proceedings, reflecting on last night's knockout round playoff ties second legs. 11 o'clock George Smith draw time. The draw for the last 16 of the Europa League is about to begin. Follow it live here. 10:55 George Smith. The stage is set. 10:45 George Smith. 15 minutes to go. The last 16 draw is scheduled to start at 11 a.m. Keep the blog locked for all the very latest updates. 10:40 George Smith. How the draw works. A total of 16 clubs will be involved in this morning's last 16 draw, split into two equal sections of 8. 8 clubs will be in the seeded pot and the remaining 8 in the unseeded pot, which is where United are housed. The 8 seeded teams will be drawn against the 8 unseeded teams and will be at home in the second legs, but clubs from the same country cannot be pitted up against each other. That means, for example, United cannot face Arsenal and Sevilla cannot face either Real Betis or Real Sociedad. 10:35 George Smith. Where is this season's final being held? After beating Barcelona last night, United will have ambitions of going all the way in the Europa League this season. Though they are still another 6 games away from the final, it will be on the minds of both the players and the fans already, surely? If that's the case, you might want to circle Wednesday, May 31st on your calendar. The final will take place in Hungary at the Puskás Arena, Budapest. 10:30 KEYEVENT 30-minute warning. The draw for the last 16 is scheduled to start at 11 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, meaning there is just half an hour to go. Ahead of it getting underway, here are all of the details that you need to know about the draw. 10:25 George Smith last-16 draw simulated ahead of the real draw taking place at 11 a.m. Men's Sport did a quick simulation of the draw to see who United could be pitted up against. 10:20 George Smith. When are the last 16 ties played? The last 16 ties will be played across 2 legs and get underway on Thursday, March 9th. The return legs will be played the following week on Thursday, March 16th. Whoever United are pitted up against, they will be at home in the first leg because they are on the unseeded side of the draw. 10:10 George Smith. Best and worst case scenarios for United. Despite being on the unseeded side of the draw, you could argue that United actually stand a chance of getting an easier draw than if they were on the seeded side. They cannot be pitted up against Arsenal at this stage, meaning they will avoid the strongest team on the seeded side of the draw. The seeded side features a blend of experienced European nations and others looking to find their feet at this level. You would argue that United would probably like to avoid either Real Betis or Real Sociedad. As far as a tie they would like and be expected to win, a 2-legged showdown with either Belgian outfit Union Saint-Gilloise or Ferencváros of Hungary would be welcomed. 10 o'clock George Smith. Outright odds to win the Europa League courtesy of Betfair. These are the latest odds for who will win the Europa League this season.